This is a St. Patrick's Day like no other, a day that none of us will ever forget. Today's children will tell their own children and grandchildren about the national holiday in 2020 that had no parties, no parades, but instead saw everyone staying at home to protect each other.
In a containment phase, which is about identifying and containing all cases, no matter how mild. It's focused on caring for those infected and tracing their close contacts and advocating self-isolation for those who show symptoms.
This is a
Health authorities say Ireland is expected to end up in the mitigation phase, which is significant and non-going person-to-person.
Gorey is a very musical place to live. There are a very discerning audience in Gorey, and they frequent this theatre, they absolutely fill it.
Having been from here all my life, it's where I probably would have started as a young child and would have got my basic experience. Certainly it was the platform that was there from the very beginning for me.
It's an escape from, the stresses of school or friends or family, and you're able to come here and you're able to do something that you love, which is singing, dancing and acting.
Gorey Little Theatre is run by a committee who are all volunteers.
I joined Gorey Little Theatre Group in 1958 when I was about 6 years old. One of the ambitions of the theatre group right from the start was to provide a theatre in Gorey.
To provide for performances of plays and shows, and also to provide for the development of a live interest in theatre itself as an art form.
Back in the 40s and 50s, Gorey was pretty well unique here in Ireland, because every other town had a hall or a community centre, but Gorey had nothing. So during the 50s and 60s, the theatre group did fundraising, got great support from the townspeople, got a little support from government funds, and they built the theatre here on a site which they had acquired a few years before. The theatre group, as I've said, is a community service. It's run by a committee of about 10 who are all volunteers. In fact, everybody involved in the theatre, apart from 3 paid staff members, are all volunteers. And it's a wonderful organisation in that sense. Now, it's a considerable commitment.
The amount of activity prior to COVID is just, it's fantastic.
The principal items that we do on an annual basis are, I have to say, first and foremost, the pantomime. The pantomime is a huge event.
I think the panto reaches out to everybody in the community, young and old. Personally, my own personal love is drama itself, but it's not for everybody. People love musical theatre. It's not for everybody, but everybody loves panto. It's the most wonderful thing we can do.
It means a lot to people. It becomes a part of your routine. For me, it was, September till January, it was just panto. After school, it was panto.
Oh, I love the panto. I love fun show, and if you can make people laugh, it's the best thing that could happen to anybody.
Every single production, no matter what it is, there's something funny. There's always a funny character. The people have come in here and, from the minute they're cast in a play, the first rehearsal, they're just funny.
Good lady, and you know what else you'll do? Shopping centre, let me think. My name is Michael Kinsey, aka Frico, and anybody that doesn't know me, it's your hard luck. How you doing? I'm the caretaker, actually, come Dog's Body if anybody comes into the theatre and they're looking for somebody to call for Frico. I love pantomimes because anything can happen in a pantomime.
Children, just hundreds of them, they just line up outside and all around the theatre queuing to get in to audition.
I really wanted to be part of the panto, and you have to be 8 to be in the panto. So I said I was born 2001 when I was actually born 2002. And I tried my very best, and luckily I got in. So it was worth it.
Anything can happen.
The man behind him fell over him. The fellas coming from the far side of the stage fell over the lot, and we all ended up in a heap of grass skirts and coconuts on the stage. The audience nearly wet themselves laughing. It's always great for a laugh. And that's what I miss most about the old panto, you know.
Since my last panto in 2019, there hasn't been a panto.
The pandemic has shut it down.
Everything, basically, what happened, everything stopped. And it took a long time for anything to come back. A lot has happened, I suppose, and a lot did happen. Well, in 2020, at the time when restrictions first came in and the first pandemic began to arise, I was about 2 weeks out from having 2 productions staged. They were 2 main stage musical productions, so they were gone. Until September, they were supposed to have been rescheduled, September of 2020. Those, however, have never been staged since.
Everyone knows after Christmas time you go see the panto, you bring your family, the kids get to have their family come see them, and it's kind of a sense of pride in Gorey to have the panto, and for that not to be there, it's a little bit of Gorey kind of taken away.
The first year when we were going into lockdown and the schools were closed down, and you meet the kids on the beach, you know, and they're all running around. Louise, are we going to have a panto? My mammy says there's not going to be a panto. And I just say, no, we'll have to wait and see. Just look at their little faces. At the thoughts of nothing else was on their mind. This is in the summer, the panto's not till January.
You have people that are actually asking, is there any pantomime on this year? Or is there any musical on this year? Even as much as bingo. It's funny. I have this rapport with people that come by, the older ladies that when they're going to mass and stuff like this, and I always come out in the morning and I have this it's a running joke more or less, and I always say, don't forget now, you want to say one for Frico this morning, and they would always ask me, when is the bingo coming back, Frico? And I'm going, I'm not a politician.
So I'm Malcolm Byrne. My day job is I'm a member of Shannon Dairn. I'm a senator. And in the Shannon I speak a lot around the arts and culture and other issues. But I've had a long-time association with theatre and arts groups, both here in North Wexford and nationally. I'm a trustee of Gorey Little Theatre and on the committee here. I've a kind of a passion for the arts and drama. And I guess I've been speaking out a lot around the impact of COVID on those who are working in the arts.
Panto is financially, it's a great thing for the theatre as well, because you wouldn't have a spare seat in the house, and all that income is a loss. And then a lot of artists, musicians in the orchestra, whatever, that's the loss of income for them. The choreographers, all those people that have a livelihood, to me, none of them have work.
There was so much going on here, always.
So COVID has obviously had an impact on everybody over the last 2 years. It's been a really difficult 2 years, but I think one of the sectors that we have seen a really serious and detrimental effect is on those who are involved in the arts, in music, in the entertainment sector.
It would be like almost taking away the institution of the GAA from people who are fanatics into the GAA and sports people. What would they do without their local pitch or their community? Because it's our community.
Community or voluntary theatres are now, they're small businesses. You're talking about in a normal year, a business like this will have a 6-figure sum turnover. You for any serious piece of drama, it's going to cost you a 5-figure sum to put on a good production now. And you got to be able to do that. What I would say is, I suppose government has been, quite good at providing the business supports to try to keep those theatres and arts venues going. There have been financial supports that have been put in place, but that's not, that doesn't take away from the impact that it's had, because, for an artist or for a musician, it's not about the money. It's very much about their way of life. And if you haven't been able to perform over a 2-year period, that does have quite serious impact.
For me, creating theatre, no matter what, whether that's physical theatre, comedy, drama, tragedy, pantomime, musical theatre, a dance show, it's all about the audience. Without them, we won't be or couldn't be creating.
We were able to manage putting on a few productions. Eventually, we were allowed to have 50 people, and we seat 341 seats.
People can look at stuff on a screen, but it's not the same as sitting there in the company of other people and sharing a live theatre experience where, anything can go wrong. Sometimes it does, but where you're in there and you're sharing directly with the actors an experience they're going through. Taking part as an audience member is something that's really important, and I think also people who take part in theatre enjoy it.
So when I see a full house out there, that to me is the magic of it, that they have actually come to see our show. They haven't just been invited, they haven't been forced, please come, please. They are here and they want to see you. That just shows us that what we're doing is right, it's working, and that we'll be able to continue to do it.
I liken this period to, in certain ways, we've all been wrapped in cotton wool through this period. We're going to pull that back, and there's going to be all sorts of scars. There's going to be difficulties, there's going to be opportunities. And there's a really important role for the arts, both helping us to tell that story, but also getting us out of it.
Justification for continuing most of our public health restrictions are no longer in place. Therefore, from 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, the majority of public health measures that we have had to live with will be removed.
Oh, brilliant.
2023, we're talking about it already. We have our production team ready. We have a great future ahead of us. We have a lot of old talent out there in this town.
Theatre has been with us for, centuries, millennia. It's all about telling stories.
It's such an enjoyable place to come to a show or a musical or a play, and it's such a pleasure to act on that stage.
When you read, some of the great plays, whether they're modern plays or going back through history, they all still have relevance. I mean, it's an escape. It's the opportunity to go in and to sit in front of a play, to be entertained, to be informed, to be challenged. I've no doubt theatre is going to come back stronger than ever coming out of this pandemic.
I think it's safe to say that this little theatre will operate successfully for a long, long time.
I'd imagine if the bomb dropped and this whole place would disappear, I'd imagine not before time a theatre would be built again.